Bumblebee is a prequel reboot to the Transformers film franchise and is an origin story to the character Bumblebee. I was very excited for this movie going into the new year. I'm a huge Transformers fan. Transformers was literally my childhood. That is what I grew up with. And as shitty as they are, I enjoy the Michael Bay Transformers movies for what they are. Turn your brain off action movies. Don't shoot. But speaking for myself, I have wanted a good Transformers movie for a very long time, just so I could say, hey, I like this Transformers movie, and no one gave me that "are you fucking kidding me" look on their face. This was the first Transformers movie that would not be directed by Michael Bay. This one instead is directed by Travis Knight, so that gave me a little bit more hope for this movie, knowing that Michael Bay has decided, you know what, I'm gonna let someone else take the reins. Let's give someone else a shot at this. And what Travis Knight has given us is by far and away the best movie in the Transformers franchise to date. When you watch the opening scene of this movie, immediately you know the tone is going to be different. It takes you to Cybertron. The war between the Autobots and Decepticons is currently going on. It's in the final acts. The Autobots at this point are trying to escape. And first of all, it's really great seeing the Transformers that we get. I mean, you have Optimus, you have Bumblebee, you have Starscream, you have Soundwave, you have Shockwave. No sign of Megatron, though. That kind of disappointed me. I would have liked to at least seen a brief moment of Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting each other, just so that inner kid inside me could have that form of gratitude. But one thing that's really cool about this scene is most of these Transformers, in fact, I would say all of the Transformers, are modeled after how they looked in Generation 1. I mean, I didn't grow up with Generation 1 because that was before my time, but I do know that definitely spoke to a lot of the fans, the older fans that really did grow up with Transformers. But also, what you really notice right out the gate is how much better the action is. Everything's a lot more polished, everything's a lot more clear-cut. It's not a bunch of, that nonsense, fiery explosions and fireworks coming everywhere and you don't really know what's going on. In this scene and throughout this movie, the action is so well shot, it's so well done. Everything looks just much better and it looks a lot more entertaining. You can keep up with the action in this movie and that makes it a lot more satisfying. But anyways, the Autobots have to escape Cybertron. Optimus assigns Bumblebee, who right now goes by the codename B-127. He's like, okay, you're gonna go to Earth. We're eventually gonna meet with you there. It is your job to make sure Earth is safe, protect its people, protect everything about it. So he makes it to Earth, but he was followed by the Decepticon Blitzwing, who gets into an all-out brawl with him. He tries to get Bumblebee. It's like, where's Optimus Prime? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. He's like, okay, if you're not gonna talk, Shin, I'm gonna rip your voice box out. So yeah, he does just that. Bumblebee's still able to kill Blitzwing, but now Bumblebee can't speak. With that, Bumblebee just scans a Volkswagen Beetle, transforms into that, winds up in an old junkyard, and now we get into the human aspect of this movie. Hailee Steinfeld plays a young girl named Charlie. She's working to get her own car. She's currently going through a loss of her own. She's dealing with the loss of her father. Her mother is already remarried. She's not too fond of her stepfather. She's kind of one of those states where she doesn't really feel the family gets her. Kind of feels like the fish out of water, even in her own family. Now, the human element is obviously very important in these Transformers movies. I think in a lot of these movies, the human element hasn't been particularly strong. There are usually a few human characters, for me anyway, in these movies that I was able to get behind. Most of them, though, are very annoying and are just ones you don't want anything to do with. In this movie, though, the human element is a whole lot better, and a lot of that definitely has to go to Hailee Steinfeld, because there's so much to like about her character. She's independent, she's hardworking, you really feel for her, especially in what she's had to go through. She's just this really sweet girl who just kind of feels like an outcast. And for her birthday, her Uncle Hank, who owns a junkyard, he gives her the Volkswagen Beetle that has all of a sudden shown up. So now she finally has a car, she's doing some work on it in the garage, and then it transforms into Bumblebee, and now she's like, oh, so that's what this really is. But what I like seeing right here is because as a result of his battle with Blitzwing, Bumblebee has also lost his memory a little bit. He has his amnesia. So he's now forgotten entirely what his mission on Earth is. He's forgotten about the Autobots that sent him here. So now when Bumblebee transforms and he sees Hailee Steinfeld, he is as equally freaked out as she is. But this is also when you start to get the feel that the movie's kind of going for the E.T. Iron Giant kind of vibe. You got this human, it discovers an alien from another world, doesn't really know what it's doing here, what its purpose here is, and you see this clear bond, this friendship that is growing. And that's something this movie has that I really think was severely lacking in the other Transformers movies. It's the amount of heart this movie really has. This isn't just some big sci-fi movie about Autobots fighting Decepticons for the sake of planet Earth. This is a movie about friendship and growth and discovery. It really brings something to this franchise that I think was sorely needed. And it's great seeing Hailee Steinfeld get this Transformer to walk into her life, who she herself names Bumblebee. it's great seeing what it does for her. You know, she finally gains a real friend in Bumblebee, and not just in Bumblebee, but also in this guy who also low-key has a crush on her. I mean, come on, it's Haley Steinfeld. Can you blame him? But not just that, she's standing up to the popular people who are always picking on her. You know, she feels some kind of sympathy in having Bumblebee in her life so she can express what she's going through and the loss of her dad. You feel like she's reforming some of the relationships that she has in her family. And it's also great just seeing what she does with Bumblebee. You know, teaching him it's like, alright, I'm the only one you can show yourself around, so you gotta learn how to hide, you need to know to transform. Teaching him how people act on Earth, to showing him, oh hey, you can use music and the radio to communicate. It leads to a lot of moments that give you clarity to how Bumblebee is able to communicate with everyone, and it also leads to a lot of humor in this movie. And that's the key. You say humor in a Transformers movie, you're just like, oh gosh. But no, the humor in this movie is actually really good, and it's effective. It's not like that stupid, cheesy, awkward Michael Bay humor that was more cringe than anything. This stuff was actually legit attempts at making a joke, and when the joke hits, it lands. Like, you know, there's that scene, Bumblebee's just trying to get into the house, he doesn't want to stay in the garage, you know, he has to just kind of sneakily find his way in, but he's too big for everything, so it just breaks everything in the house. It was a really funny moment. I laughed my ass off, and I didn't feel awkward about it. But what also the fan inside me really appreciated that this movie did was it really gave the Decepticons, I think, the proper screen time they needed. Actually, I don't know if screen time is the right word. It gave them the proper storyline that they needed. There you go. You have the two Decepticons, Shatter and Dropkick. They have come to Earth. They're hunting Bumblebee. They come across Sector 7 that is led by John Cena, and they tell him and the rest of Sector 7, oh, this Transformer right here, Bumblebee, he is a fugitive. He caused war on our planet. If he is not found, the war will come here. You need to let us find him. We will apprehend him, and then we will leave this planet and leave you at peace. And this is why that scene right here matters so much. It shows that Decepticons are the masters of deception, which is what they've always been known for. And it's something in these movies I don't think they're really addressed. They just made Decepticons out like, oh, they're these big evil robots that came to Earth and just want to destroy the human race. In this case, it's like, yeah, the Decepticons maybe want to destroy the human race, but it's like, we're going to toy with them first. We're going to deceive them first. We're going to get them to do our bidding first, and then we'll do away with them. That right there is what the Decepticons are known for, and I'm really happy this movie actually touched on that. It's even seen the ruthlessness in these Decepticons. You know, they're not afraid to shoot humans, to execute humans. We actually see that now. I mean, granted, it was happening in the other movies too, but we really see it more firsthand here. I mean, there are a few scenes. One of the Decepticons will just activate their gun, shoot the human being, and it'll just splatter. Nothing graphic, of course. I mean, they know kids are gonna go see these movies, but still, it's like, yeah, they'll go there, they'll personally do it. And oftentimes, for not any reason in particular, they'll just do it because they felt like it. But eventually it reaches the point, Bumblebee is captured by Sector 7, they bring him to their headquarters where the Decepticons are waiting for him. And of course, it's right here, the two Decepticons, they just torture the hell out of Bumblebee, they get the information that they need, they now know of Optimus Prime's whereabouts, so now the idea is, alright, we'll just get all the Decepticons to come here, await Optimus Prime, and then we'll ambush him and the rest of the Autobots, and then we'll continue with our mission, which is eradicate the human beings and then use Earth for its resources. And you see it right here, the Decepticons have used Sector 7 for what they need to do, and now they're just doing away with them. One of the scientists they were personally working with, they have him executed immediately afterwards. But Haley Steinfeld is able to sneak back into Sector 7, she's able to somehow electroshock Bumblebee back to life, and through that, Bumblebee like has one of those epiphanies, how he just remembers everything now. He now knows who he is, what his mission is. And once the two of them escape Sector 7, the two of them now have to go after the Decepticons from preventing them from sending a transmission through a radio tower to the Decepticons. While Haley Steinfeld toys with the beacon, Bumblebee's set fighting the other two Decepticons, and what I again appreciate here is how well done the fight scenes are. When the Transformers fight, it is well filmed, it is polished, it's not just a bunch of nonsense on screen. They're throwing each other around, they're fighting each other with kung fu and all these different martial arts, they're shooting at each other, they're stabbing each other, and you can follow it and you're absurdly entertained by it. It definitely gives me a lot of hope for what the Transformers movies could be like in the future, seeing what these fights could be, especially once we get more of the other popular Transformers into this. So the two of them, they stop the beacon, they destroy those two Decepticons, now the mission is accomplished. John Cena has also seen at this point, alright, look, you two need to get out of here. Sector 7's still coming after them, but I now see what Bumblebee is. I see that he's good, that he's not out here to hurt us. You guys just get out of here. And that's at this point around the end of the movie, and Haley Steinfeld has taken Bumblebee to like the edge of this cliff where they would usually go, and she tells him it's like, look, you got people out there that need you, your people need you, you have a greater purpose here on Earth, you can't stay here with me, I have to let you go. It's really emotional. She's crying. She hugs him goodbye. You know, Bumblebee just goes off and he scans the Camaro that we saw him transform into in the first Transformers movie. It was actually a really emotional moment. I was like, see, this is the heart you need in these kind of movies. But on the very final shot of the movie, you see that Bumblebee has now reunited with Optimus Prime on Earth as was planned. More Autobots are now coming to join them, which definitely has you thinking, yeah, sequel's probably going to be in the works. I really hope one is. So all in all, Bumblebee was everything that the other Transformers movies should have been. The human element in this movie is so well done. Haley Steinfeld just kills it in this movie. I mean, she's easily the best human character in this movie, but none of the other characters, the humans, none of them were annoying or cheesy or just felt shoehorned in or anything like that. They all provided a purpose. John Cena was really good in this movie. I wasn't so sure how he would do as like the leader of Sector 7. It's kind of like this military guy, but he does well. Has a few of those John Cena lines that you kind of expect from him at this point, but they didn't really compromise the movie or anything. Visually, the Transformers still look great, as they always have. I really love seeing the transformations in this movie, how much more simple they are. You're able to buy a lot of them much better. I love the Decepticon element. I love seeing more of the art of deception in them. The action in this movie is great. It's so much more polished, so much betterly filmed. You can actually tell when things are happening. It's great. The movie has a lot of heart. It has a lot of emotion. I love that it was set in the 80s, so you kind of got that feel from it. It felt a little more nostalgic. And they actually had the touch in this movie. That ain't nothing. The one thing I am kind of wondering with this movie is it a prequel or a reboot? Because part of it does feel like a prequel with, you know, Bumblebee communicating with the radio and then turning into the car that he does at the very end of the movie, but there's still some elements. You look at it, it's like, wait a minute, Optimus Prime is on Earth now. He doesn't come to Earth until later, you know. So part of you is wondering what it is exactly. Maybe with the next movie we'll get more clarity with that. But in the end, this is definitely the Transformers movie I think we've all been wanting for a very long time, from the beginning. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I will see you all next time.